Mumbai Indians move into the top 4 after a 102-run victory over Kolkata Knight Riders at Eden Gardens. Confirmation of that result, Mumbai doing the double over Kolkata. It was a one-way affair, 102-run victory for the Indians. They are 4th and now Kolkata are 5th. This is Matchday Runorder, powered by Techno Mobile, with me, Jason Dacey, here on ESPN Cricket Info, with our experts, Brad Hogg and Deep Das Gupta. This wasn't even close, Hoggy, and it's a huge win for Mumbai.
No, it wasn't even close, and selections weren't even close as well. What the hell was I thinking? Ben cutting out and Milne in the New Zealand quick. He scored 24 off 9 balls and got 1 for 12 off his 2 overs. He was exceptional. I probably should have gone with you and just slided Duminy out. But gee whiz, that was the best naught I've ever seen. Naught off none. But the running between the wickets in those last 8 balls that he was out there, he was sensational. The running advertising billboard, JP Duminy. I think that's why he's in the Mumbai Indians team, isn't he?
And that's an 8th consecutive win over Kolkata by Mumbai. 3rd consecutive win in this IPL. And the bounce is back for them.
Yes, the balance is back for MI. I mean, listen, if you look at that team, even when they were losing, we said the same thing, that you cannot actually pick a hole in that side because this team looks good. It's just that they weren't winning games. But now, as usual, you know, second half of the tournament, MI train is back on track and it's chugging along nicely. But this game for KKR is a loss and a half. It's not just about losing, it's losing just the 2 points, but losing by 102 runs. That brings the net run rate down massively. And it's just the way they lost it. I mean, they've lost, what, last 3 games now in a row? Something like that?
Yeah, they've lost 2. They've lost last 2
games in a row.
But they've lost their way as far as momentum
against
and
Mumbai Indians, but they've been put under pressure. They were under pressure to stay in the tournament because they knew that if they lost both games to Mumbai Indians, they've let a team back in the hunt, and they could have been in that top 3 right now and safe for a playoff.
And they could have kind of increased that 2-point lead to 4, which that would have been very difficult for Mumbai Indians to kind of catch up then. But now they're at 10 points apiece now.
And Mumbai Indians would have been hoping that Kings 11 lost to KKR and that they beat them themselves. But now Mumbai, I think they're going to be in the top 4. They're going to come home strong. And I think they've been playing very good cricket throughout the whole tournament. You've got to remember that they've lost a couple of close ones very early on, and Chennai Super Kings were winning those close ones. So they're coming right at the right time in the tournament. They've just got to make sure they get in the playoffs. 4
wins out of 5 now for Mumbai Indians, 210 for 6. That was a great batting performance on a belter of a pitch there at Eden Gardens. But how do you explain KKR's meek reply, 2 costly runouts that really set them back? But it was just pathetic, wasn't it? It was terrible.
Jason, yeah, I know. I mean, it looks terrible, but when you're chasing down 210, there are only 2 ways to look at it. Either you go really hard and then you don't worry about losing wickets, that's what happened, and you kind of fold up. Or you get really close, like 190 or something. Unfortunately, it didn't work. But you know what was important is we tend to forget now, these teams tend to forget now, that net run rate will or could come into effect. And after a while, after you've lost 6-7 wickets, I'm not saying you're being negative, you just be pragmatic and be practical and say, listen, we've lost 6 wickets or 5 wickets now. It's rather difficult, very difficult, to kind of reach that 211 run mark. Let's try and cut our losses and try and be as close to that 211 as possible, so that end of the 14th game, they don't feel, I mean, I hope this doesn't come back to haunt them in terms of net run rate.
That is a very good point, because it's happened to them a couple of times where they've been waiting for that last game of the season to see whether they're in or out, and it's disappointing to sit in a hotel and just you're sitting there, well, am I going home or am I playing the next game? It's very tough. But that run out of Chris Lynn, that was crucial, because he was actually going strong out that time.
He's looking good.
And I don't know whether there was a run there or not. Utapa was on the back foot, hitting it to that point man who was on the ring. But when you're in that situation and you need the scoreboard ticking over, you've got to be on the front foot looking to take on those ones. You've got to put the pressure on the fieldsman, and Chris Lynn would have made it home. I don't know whether Utapa would have got there. So
well, I don't think there was a run there.
I don't think, but yeah, it's a tough one, and I'm going to have to go and say that it was probably the Australians' fault there. But that's just a little bit of miscommunication out there.
21 from 15, he was looking pretty good. But what about the Pandya brothers picking up 2 wickets apiece? I mean, the Mumbai bowling performance, nothing special, but they did what they had to do.
You know what? I think it was a couple of games before Mumbai Indian games. We were talking about what Mumbai can do, and we said, listen, it's important for Mumbai Indians, their big ticket players, to start performing because they hadn't in the first half. And now if you look at the last few games, you have your Pandya brothers doing well, Hardik doing fabulously well in the last 3 games now, Krunal's shipping in, so is your other big names. Bumrah's bowling well now, he's back in kind of form and winning games. Rohit, again a good knock, but today, let's not forget the youngster, Ishan Kishan. I think his knock of 62 made the difference. That changed, for me, that changed the whole complexion of the game.
Well, it's about matchups, isn't it? He took on their spinners, 91 runs off 7 overs against Kuldeep and Chawla, and they, apart from Nareen, they have been the ones that have been holding Kolkata Knight Riders in the game with their bowling.
Okay, now let's look at the selection from that perspective, right? So, if you're planning to go really hard at the spinners, is that the reason why JP Dumani is there as an insurance saying, listen, we're going to go hard at the spinners. It doesn't matter if we lose a couple of wickets there, but we're still going to continue going hard at the spinners. I mean, it paid off today. It could wouldn't have paid off, or Ishan could have got out on maybe a couple of more wickets there. Maybe from... Listen, I still don't agree with that. I still think Milne should have played for JP Dumani. But when you look at it from that angle, you can understand why JP Dumani was there. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it's one of those tough ones because I'm sort of a bowler's mentality where I want that quick bowler out the other end. But Hardik Pandya wasn't bowling well a couple of games ago, and they weren't relying on him with his bowling. The last couple of games, he stood up. Krunal Pandya is bowling well.
Yeah.
They're both batting well, so their batting's under control. So Dumani's coming in at 8. I'm a little bit concerned about that, but with their bowling depth, they've got Ben Cutting coming in as that 6th bowler.
Yeah.
On certain wickets, he can do the job. Look, if they lost tonight, we would be talking differently. There's no doubt about it. They should have played Milne. But yes, the insurance policy. Those players can go hard, knowing that Dumani, if they fail, he can just chip it around with the tail and get 140, 150, and if they bowl well, they might be able to defend it. Yeah, so it's a catch-22, isn't it?
I agree.
We could both argue about it, and we're both right, in a sense, yes.
Well, as for our Tata Nexon best striker of the match, not surprisingly, it was Ishan Kishan. What a fantastic innings he hit for the Mumbai Indians. Confirmation of 62 runs in 21 balls, 295 strike rate, 5 fours and 6 sixes, including 4 in a row deep. That was something special to savour, wasn't it?
That was absolutely special. Listen, this kid is special. I mean, I've been saying this.
19 years old.
He's 19 years old. He's from the same batch as Rishabh Pant. Well, I mean, he was the India under-19 captain a couple of years ago. He plays for the same state as Dhoni from Jharkhand, and he's been really, really good. When you look at him bat and all, see, for me, how I look at IPL is it's a test of temperament. You have the skill set, and I've said this before, if you're playing at this level, you have the skill, but do you have the temperament to kind of, especially these must-win games, can you perform against the best bowlers in the world? And that's what is very heartening to see all these 19, 20-year-olds coming through, showing that they have the temperament to kind of graduate and play the next level now.
I'm just going to jump in here. There's one aspect of his game that I'm a little concerned of. Not his keeping. No, not his keeping. I think he keeps all right. Is most of his scoring shots were on the leg side today. Okay, he has had trouble when you bowl wide, still trying to drag it over that leg side. He's got to look out options on that offside, and I thought Kolkata bowled poorly to him tonight.
They did everything poorly, right?
Yeah.
Fielding was poor, running between wickets was poor, batting was poor. Didn't do anything right, did they?
Yeah, but they weren't turning it away from him outside off stump enough, and that's where his trouble, because he gets overexcited. And he does want to try and drag it from out there, and he's had his downfalls from that throughout this tournament there. And I don't think Kolkata attacked him enough out there and tempted him to go leg side rather than go over the covers. He's only young, but that's one thing that he walks away from this tournament for next year. and the future of his development to work on?
So I've seen him in domestic cricket. He actually does all right in the offside as well. It's just that naturally your natural swing is towards mid-wicket, and to be,
Every left-hander is a cow corner.
Cow corner. I mean, even right-hander cow corner. It's the same swing. But you're spot on, and he was fed there. He was fed right there. But brilliant. I mean, to come at that stage, pressure on you, because MI is a big franchise. They are one of the most successful franchises. I mean, it's not just about competing. They're about winning the tournament. And so a 19-year-old under pressure playing that kind of a knock against, mind you, we're talking about Kuldeep Yadav. Currently, he's one of the top spinners in the world across all formats. So it's not just any other domestic bowler that he took on.
Yeah, and how much do you think the advantage of Mumbai's flexible batting order is part of their success at the moment?
I don't know whether it's really flexible in a sense. I think they've really got strategised now, and they've got Hardik coming in at 5 and Cronell coming down the bottom. If I was going to be looking at it, I'd like it around the other way, because Cronell's got a better strike rate than what Hardik's got. But that's the way that they've gone. They're going to stick with that system. They changed Ben Cutting today, brought him in front of Duminy, and it's paid off dividends. So I think they've got it really well set up. I think on going to Kolkata side, they got Curran to fill in for Stark. Now, for me, they should have probably gone after an out-and-out quick with the bowling attack, because Curran's not really out-and-out pace. He's very crafty with his variations, but he's only just come on the scene. But Jai Richardson, who I'm going to bring up, has only just come on the scene as well. But he's someone like a Mavi. He's got that extra pace. And I think that's what they're lacking, that genuine pace to really unsettle batsmen out the other end. And if I'm a batting team looking at Kolkata Knight Riders' bowling attack as it was today, I'm feeling comfortable. All I'm worried about is the turn, but I know that the pace isn't going to get me. So I know that there's scoring options out there. I'm not under pressure to take on the spinners early, because I know I can catch it up with the pace bowlers.
What about the way that Mumbai used the short ball against KKR's top order? Was that effective for you?
That was, and I think we did mention that. We before the game, we were talking about how short ball has been an issue with a few of the batsmen there, especially Nitish Rana. If you go back even last year, first half when he was actually playing for MI, the first half was very good. In fact, there was a point in time where he held the orange cap as well. But then second half, bowlers found out, they started bowling short at him. And this year again, after those initial innings, now last few games, every time Nitish Rana comes out, there's a medium pacer trying to bowl short at him. So that's something that he needs to sort out. He's just young. He's what, 22, 23. That's an aspect that he needs to work on. And yeah, I mean, listen, that's an issue you've got to understand with domestic Indian players against real. I'm talking about proper
Genuine
pace bowling. I'm not talking about 135, 137. I'm talking about 145-ish. I mean, listen, we don't get to face that many quick bowlers in domestic cricket, so that can be a little bit of an issue, which I mean, the kids have talent, they have the skill set, it's just that they're not used to it, so they need to find a way out of this.
Now, just moving forward on this, I'm going to ask you a question here. Sorry about that. It's your job, Jace, but I'm jumping in here. They've got Rajasthan Royals, Kings 11 and Delhi Daredevils to play Mumbai Indians. Now, would you sit there and go, right, change this dynamic, take Duminy out and play Milne against those three teams with that extra bowler, that extra pace?
I would actually look at that seriously, because it's now third game in a row, isn't it, that JP Duminy hasn't been really used as such. Well, he came out to bat last game, but that shouldn't have happened. You and I, we both agreed that Ben Cutting should have come out in the last game before JP Duminy in the last 3 odd overs that he played in the last game. So you're not really using JP Duminy, and
well, you weren't using Ben Cutting the game before, so one of them is redundant in each game.
That's my point. So now if you have to choose between Ben Cutting and JP Duminy, I think Ben Cutting offers you more in terms of, especially where he's going to bat at number 6, 7. So you're talking about power hitting there.
24 of 9 today.
Exactly. So power hitting, especially in the death, where predominantly fast bowlers, not too many spinners. That's one of the things that works in favour of Ben Cutting, and also, I mean, his bowling. I mean, he's a proper bowler. He's not a part-time bowler like JP Duminy. Ben Cutting is a proper bowler.
And Duminy's only been used once, so Mowat and Joe Warden down there. You're listening to ESPN. We think Milne should go in instead of Duminy, okay? Nothing against you, JP. You're a fantastic player, but just the balance of the team.
All right, let's have a look at the points table and see just how crucial that victory is for the Mumbai Indians. Let's have a look at the points and also the net run rate deep. It's looking a lot healthier than it was a week or two ago for Mumbai.
Oh, very, very healthy. Oh, very healthy indeed.
Two games ago, before these two played, you would have thinking,
they were on 4.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
suddenly
Right.
now they're
This
on
is ridiculous.
10. Yeah. And that's what Mumbai does. I mean, every year Mumbai does this, and I mean, it's second half of the tournament belongs to Mumbai Indians, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do qualify for the playoffs, because now, if just forget their 3-3 game win and all that, but just the fact that, you know, the team is looking good, everyone's performing, the top names are performing, you know, so I think the momentum's with them, and they're going to ride that momentum right through this tournament now.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Kings 11 looking out third spot there, they're a little bit shaky as well.
Yeah, they haven't been that impressive the last couple of games. So.
No, it's interesting. There's a lot of excitement still left in this IPL.
Absolutely.
All right, top fours now. We asked you a couple of days ago about this. So you're going to stick with what's there, or are you going to think maybe Kolkata can come back?
You know, the way they've been playing the last couple of games, especially this one, I don't know this. In fact, you know, Dinesh Karthik in his post-match also mentioned this. Yeah,
He's quite upbeat, wasn't he?
He was, but as a captain you have to, especially after a big loss like this, you know, you can't be like, and especially after this loss, the captain has to be more chirpy, smiley, making sure the environment is good, and kind of reinstall the belief. And he mentioned that. I mean, belief is a very, very big word, especially in tournaments like this where you're playing every second, third day. It can go downhill very, very easily, and it is very important to see how the team and that dressing room reacts to such a big loss, which can be quite lethal in terms of this tournament.
So you're saying the top four there is going to be the top four at the end, aren't you? Hoping?
Look, yeah, no, I'm really rooting for Kolkata Knight Riders, but they've got Sunrisers Hyderabad in their last game, and that's going to be a big one. They've got to get momentum against Rajasthan Royals, who I think they play next, or Kings 11. I'm not quite sure, but they've got those two games where they've got to win it, and they've got to win it well, because they've got to go in with full confidence against Sunrisers Hyderabad, who they are not going to let the pedal off the metal. They are going to keep going strong, because you know what happens when you take it a little bit easy, knowing that you're in those playoffs. If you don't play with that same momentum, that same hunger, it can all fall away very quickly.
Indeed. All right, thanks very much to Deep Dasgupta and Brad Hogg, or I should say Tom Cruise lookalike.
Oh, let's not start. Seriously.
All right, congratulations to the Mumbai Indians. Made it 8 wins out of 8 against Kolkata. A sparkling night at Eden Gardens. Bye for now.